Everyone has an agenda. The media is using this not Japanese bug to say F the people of the light. YouTube is funny about hot words and colors are not friendly to their algorithm. You have this article that says that you people are being mean to Asians, but the people attacking them are not the people of the light. Literally 100%. YouTube has not been kind to me lately, so wish me luck. I want to cover this because I think it's important, and unless you're on these extreme far left sites, you aren't reading these types of articles. During a crisis, there's going to be looting, robbery, and violence. But guess who is not doing it? You guys. So why is the media focusing on a non-issue? Literally every video I have seen on Twitter showed who was attacking Asians. People were even commenting on it on Twitter, which caused the two groups, Asians and black folk, to start fighting in the comments. This is the tweet. You can find it, and you can scroll through it. They show a dozen videos, and none of them are you people. It turns out that both of these groups are really Islamophobic. But the blue checkmark media is blaming the Uggs people, not the Air Jordan people. Gee, I wonder why. Why does the media hate the people of Starbucks so much? Anyway, let's take a careful look at this article. I will have to substitute some words because YouTube is not the place it used to be even a few years ago. Okay, so the article references this article where there have been a few arrests for these type of social maladjusted acts, and the people who have been arrested, it was in Harlem, and the other guy's name was like Pedro Ramos or something like that. So these three people who were arrested for attacking Asians were not the people of the light. Keep that in mind. How social distancing could lead to a spike in Taco Supreme? I'll call that. That's going to have to be my substitute phrase. And this is Rollingstone, which is pure cancer by Ms. Dickinson. We're seeing a huge uptick in rhetoric from these groups during the pandemic, said one expert on call with the SPLC. The SPLC, the ACLU, and the ADL are all basically the same group. They're basically far left extremists. Which is funny. The Guardians and all these magazines, online magazines, call out right-wing issues. They never seem to touch on left-wing issues. It's really strange. It's almost as if they support it. Anti-extremist experts are quite concerned about hateful. So you want to provide a source for that expert? Usually this is where you'd have a source. Anyway, hateful rhetoric spiking in the midst of the Wu flu, not just because of a rise in anti-Asian sentiment, but also due to people in self-quarantine being more exposed to extremist movements online. Okay. During a call with reporters to discuss the findings of the annual SPLC Year in Love report, anti-extremist experts spoke at length about their concerns about violent Taco Supreme rhetoric mounting in the midst of the pandemic, fueled in part by the actions taken by the Trump administration. Like I said, when you click on these things, it'll show you that one Hispanic American and two African Americans in this very next article who attacked Asian people. And when you go on Twitter and you watch the videos, literally a dozen videos are of not the people of the light attacking Asian people. Literally every single video. People even commented on it. And they say, well, wow, we hate to see POCs attacking POCs. And then the black dudes and the Asian dudes started to go at each other. And blacks were saying, oh, well, the Asians never stood up for us. And the Asians are like, are you out of your freaking mind? Of course we have. Not only that, this doesn't give you a right to violently attack people. So they're fighting on Twitter. It's bizarre to see. But, okay, it's an issue between those two groups. But somehow they drag Trump into it, and they drag in the pale skin people. I'll just call them Taco Supreme people, the people of the light, who have nothing to do with it. We're seeing a huge uptick in such rhetoric, said Eric Ward, executive director. A lot of it's happening on YouTube platforms and videos. It's not happening on YouTube, guaranteed. At a time where much of the country is sheltering in place or practicing social distancing, ironically, it will serve to give these individuals much more access to an audience they would normally have. No, that's just not true. YouTube shuts down those videos, and they will they control traffic exactly the way they wish. Ward also spoke to mounting anti-Asian sentiment in the midst of the panic. Okay. By these two recent arrests, those are the people I clicked, the Hispanic and the African American. So why are you talking about white people? Literally every attack has been by either a Hispanic or an African. Why are you talking about Trump? Discrimination against Asian people in Portland, Oregon. By whom? A recent report of Trump administration official referring to the virus as Kung Flu. Okay, so what? Has added fuel. The people who are attacking the Asians are not fans of Trump. They did not vote Trump, you freaking morons, and you know this. You're seeing a rise of anti-Asian violence, but you don't say who it's by. It's not happening in a vacuum. Okay, here's where you blame the president for the actions of African Americans and Hispanic Americans. You're blaming the president for that. Listen, before the Wu Flu Boogaloo piped off in San Francisco's Chinatown, black dudes would drive up, and this is all on, you can watch these videos on Twitter, drive up, see an Asian lady, hop out of the car, beat the hell out of her, steal her purse. That was before the virus. This is intentional in time of great panic and fear that will only lead to physical violence being expressed. We can fully anticipate see a rise in anti-Asian violence. By whom? Unless we speak out it and play a type of rhetoric. Okay, you said rhetoric like a half dozen times. You're just saying you don't like free expression. Anti-extremism experts also pointed out that in addition to anti-Asian sentiment, I can't even say that word on YouTube. I'll say Middle Eastern sentiment has also been widespread in the midst of the pandemic. Again, by whom? Not by the Starbucks UGG people, but by the, Air Jordan. I better not say anymore. Much of the rhetoric is focused on either conspiracy theories about Wu Flu origin centering on philanthropist George S. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, well, as soon as they say something this asinine, philanthropist, he's a far-left extremist who funds organizations that act parasitically to destroy the coherence of a nation. That's who this guy is. You don't have to be a tinfoil hat dude, Alex Jones type. Where the virus took place in New York, I don't think anyone's talking about that, but he is a very, very bad guy. This is a time when vulnerable communities are going to continue to be targeted, and we need to be looking closely. Okay, well, the Asians are not a vulnerable community. They're the wealthiest people in America. The Asians and this group and the Indians from India are the three wealthiest groups in America, so I'm not sure quite how you say they're vulnerable, and they're actually overrepresented in politics. So you're blaming the administration for the actions of these other two non-white groups. Concern about the impact of the Wu Flu pandemic would have on love groups' ability to recruit and radicalize new members. Well, here's the thing. You can call them anything you want. These patriot groups, these Christian groups, these free expression groups, they're not these love groups you're trying to say them are. They're just groups that want to see the Constitution equally applied, equal protection under the law. Is that the 14th Amendment? The 14th Amendment, using the first 10 amendments, would like to have those apply to the states, not just at the federal level. While Ward noted that he had not seen an increase in rhetoric from accelerationist groups in recent weeks, then why a term for a splinter group of extremists that pushes for violence? Why don't you show some sources that show these quotes? This is the kind of thing that folks who espouse neo-accelerationist ideology are looking for. Okay, there is a point to this accelerated theory. I talk about this on Twitter all the time. I mean, I get to so many hundreds of subs and they just kick me off. I have to get a new account. It's not violence. You can see how the percentage populations are changing in the U.S., and if you don't bring that to people's attention, it's just going to continue to change. And people look around and say, you know what, maybe that's not such a good thing. They want to capitalize, and I'm being very, very careful with my words here, capitalize on crisis and chaos. So why is there crisis and chaos in the first place? Oh, because diversity is our strength. Is it, though? Is it? Are you sure about that? Because I don't think diversity is our strength. It sure doesn't feel like it's our strength. Telegram. Yeah, I looked at that. I'm not sure if I want to get on that yet. There's too many other sites. When I get kicked off YouTube, I'll probably get on those. Which eco-fascists. Okay, so that's a far left group. So they're basically communists. Why are you calling them the F word? That means Mussolini and Hirohito. This is bizarre 1984 doublespeak. They're not this F word. They're commies and socialists. You know this. Targeting electrical systems. All right, well, it's interesting to see that they're also looking to accelerate it. SPLC, which is a far-left love group. ADL, ACLU, they're all the same. They're all controlled by the same people, the globalists. The number of active love groups in the United States. Okay. Oh, it's dropped slightly over the past year. Okay, from an all-time high. Okay, here's the thing. You know who the majority of those love groups are? They are the, Black Israelites groups. They are black supremacy groups. There are more black supremacy groups than there are any other group in America, which means they're overrepresented because they're only a fraction of the population. The whites, the evil whites, are about 60% of the population, and the black folk are about 13%, and they lead the way in hate groups and hate crimes. So why are you talking about these bad white people? None of this makes sense. I mean, a child could read this and say, this is bizarre or wrong think. Peak Weimar. It says increase has been taking place in concert with a rise in anti-LGBT, particularly anti-transgender. Yes, again, not by white people. Law preventing transgender children from joining sports team. Oh, get. What do you want? You want boys to play with the girls and just whoop their asses? No, you can't do that because they get scholarships. It's not fair. It's honestly quite shocking. Okay, so you mentioned Trump again. You're trying to blame Trump again. None of this makes sense. It's all not caused by people who voted Trump. It's not. None of this is. This is just the most bizarre stuff. Anyway, so the two things they reference are. You can go click these links. You can go to Twitter, go look at that girl's account. Anyway, I don't even know if this is going to go on YouTube because YouTube is not friendly to this kind of stuff. But talking about comics and pop culture, it's like I see those other channels doing that. It's like I used to talk about that when it was interesting, but that was before the Woo Flu thing. It's like I feel like things are changing. Anyway, I do have a Comicsgate article coming out later tonight. So, like, comment, subscribe, guys. You can send me email biancazombie602@gmail.com or hit my PO box up. If you send me comics, make sure you cough on them to spread that Woo Flu love. All right, guys, I'll see you on the next episode.